Hi, I'm Levi Brandt and welcome to Brandt Brother Outdoors. This year's hunting season was unlike any other I've had before. I was hunting a buck I named Thor, the smartest deer I've ever chased. But what I didn't know at the time was that this year's hunting season would be the hardest one I've ever had. A broken collarbone, one arm, one goal, and one shot that would change everything. Going into the 2025 deer season, I had two goals in mind. Number 1, finally tag Thor, a buck I've targeted for 6 years. Number 2, finally tag the drop tine buck. The first few hunts started better than I ever could have imagined. Within just the first 3 sits of the season, I was able to lay eyes on Thor. With the very next hunt, everything changed. That very next hunt, I was able to lay eyes on a couple of nice bucks, just nothing big enough I wanted to shoot. I left the field feeling very confident for my next hunt. As the morning ended, I climbed out of my tree and headed back to the truck. Like always, I followed my trail down the hill to the fence I always cross. That's when it happened. As I was crossing the fence, my back foot caught the top of the fence and sent me straight over the edge. I hit the ground extremely hard. As soon as I hit the ground, I knew something was off. When I started to move my left arm, I could feel the crunching and grinding of my bones. My collarbone was broken, snapped in two. Instinct naturally kicked in. I proceeded to grab my collarbone, straighten my left arm, and pull the 2 pieces back into place and line them up the best I could. I then slid my arm into my bino harness, using it like a sling. I walked back to where we ended up parking the truck, and my mom was there to take me to the ER. Luckily, nothing else was broken, but my season, I thought it was over. When the doctor told me I had 6 weeks to recover, I told myself I'd be back in 3. And sure enough, I couldn't take it anymore. I had to buy a crossbow. It ended up taking me 3 whole days to figure out how to shoot it one-handed. It wasn't pretty, but eventually I figured it out and got my crossbow dialed in. Broadheads, field points, everything was dead on. And that's where the story really begins. That first hunt back, man, it felt just so good to be back in the woods.
Alright everybody, we're out here first day hunting with a crossbow. We're set up in a little transition area where all these acorns are dropping. Hopefully they'll walk out about 30 yards in front of me. Wind's perfect, blowing straight up the hill, and they should come pop out right below us, so we should be in a perfect spot. So if something comes out, I'll make sure and get it on camera.
The evening started with a few does sneaking in behind us. With a totally wrong wind direction, they instantly blew and took off. I thought to myself that hunt was over. But an hour later, we had a buck coming right to us. Well, that hunt went as good as you could ask for. We had a bunch of does come in earlier in the day, and 2 of them were just outside range, and then we had the one come right behind us and start blowing. She decided to circle behind us and get downwind, so she didn't really know what was going on and just kind of bounded off. And then right at last light, we had that nice 5x5 come in, but it just happened so quick, and there's so many other big deer in the area that I chose to pass him. He's probably like 120, 130 inches, but I know there's some bigger deer than that in the area, so we'll just wait and see what happens at the next hunt, I guess. And we think that that deer that came in was a deer we call Randy Jr. He's been around for about 3 years, and I passed him then too, so hopefully EJ will be able to get on him because he really likes how that deer looks. And hopefully day 2 we'll be able to actually connect with something. On day 2, I had EJ come with me. He hung a stand for me in a spot I've gotten pictures of Thor late season for the past 6 years.
Well, it's day 2 of hunting with a crossbow out here for these whitetails. I just had a really big deer come in, but it was just too dark for me to see him to shoot, so, and way too dark for the camera. But I'm set up in a spot I hunted about 2 years ago. There was a giant in here. He had like a 9-inch drop tine last year, but I wasn't able to get on him because I tagged out 7 days into season, so hopefully we'll be able to get it done this morning. It's really, really calm, and we had like a 30-degree temperature change, so a cold front came in, and it's a little moist this morning. Perfect conditions. I ended up getting in a tree stand somehow with one arm. Wasn't the funnest thing to do, but I'm in the tree. Looks like I'm in the right spot for this morning, so hopefully another giant comes in.
Didn't see much that morning besides the buck that came in around an hour before legal light.
For this evening's hunt, we decided to set up on the ground again about 100 yards deeper into these oaks than we were set up that first evening. There's a heavy trail that runs about 16 yards in front of us, so it'll be an absolute chip shot if I end up walking that. Wind's blowing straight up the hill again. We got a bunch of thick cover in front of us, but these Russian hollies are just tucked up against the base of these trees with a little bit of cover in front of us. So this feels like a perfect spot.
Same story that night. The does came in behind us, blew and spooked. It was silence the rest of the night. Day 3 was a day of chaos. I got in late and deer were spooking everywhere.
I didn't even get a chance to get halfway to my tree stand before I spooked a giant. We got out here a little late today, about an hour later than I wanted to, so I knew it was going to probably happen tonight, where I was going to head to my stand and spook something, so I just sat down real close to where he was walking. We've sat here in the past, but just haven't had much luck here, so we'll see what happens. I'm hoping that either he'll circle around me and get down here on this hill, or come out right there. There's a couple trails right in front of me that are like 20, 30 yards, so either one of those would be perfect. I'm not in much cover right here, and my wind's kind of iffy, but if they come where I'm hoping they will, then I should be able to make it count. Well, I just had that deer I spooked come into about 30 yards. There's a couple of does about 100 yards down the hill. The landowner decided to, or the guy that lives down the hill from this public piece I'm hunting, decided to walk through his property and go for an evening stroll, I guess. Spooked him, so he didn't seem too buggered. Hopefully he'll come back in and follow the script one more time.
I knew if I wanted to hunt this stand, I had to dial in my timing. As you could see, it was just an absolute chaos of a night. The deer were spooking every 2 seconds, and the landowners kept coming in and out of their places. The one landowner looked like he lost his dog, so he went out yelling for her, and it was just not a good situation. And on top of that, I didn't end up getting much footage of anything. I really wanted to get some footage of that deer because it was probably 150-inch 10 point. Nice 5x5, but we're going East River for our next hunt. We got a 4-day weekend this upcoming weekend. Got Friday and Monday off of school, so hopefully we'll be able to shoot something big down there. So I backed out for a few days, taking the 4-day weekend to hunt East River, giving my spot a break.
Alright everyone, it's day 4 of hunting with a crossbow. We're on East River today. We already saw a really nice deer walk up straight to the car this morning, about 2 hours before daylight, so we couldn't shoot him. He's pretty nice, he's probably 130-inch deer, which I'd be super happy with because I've never hunted deer before. I don't even know if we're going to see today.
Well, this is tonight's setup. We're trying to catch them from bedding to feed. We did some scouting and found where they're bedding, so hopefully we'll be able to catch them going from bedding to the milo up on the hill.
Alrighty guys, I'm in my spot for the evening. Got in here nice and early so I didn't spook anything, and so I can let everything calm down before activity starts getting higher. My head's a little bit more exposed than I would like, but I'm pretty concealed otherwise in here, so I think I'm pretty good. I got a nice view, and should be able to shoot anything that comes within range of me, as long as I stay quiet enough. The wind's swirling, so there's nothing much I can do about that, but I think I'll be fine right here. Got lots of cover sent, and should be good to go. EJ's sitting on a transition area in between some cedars, about a half mile away from here. The transition is in between some beans and some milo and some corn, so farm country, as they say. Should be able to connect with one over there, and I should be able to connect with one over here, so should be an exciting night.
It was my worst hunt yet. The next morning, even worse. I got in nice and early, an hour before daylight, in my spot. I had seen all the does the morning before. Someone somehow ended up putting a coyote call about 20 yards behind us without us knowing. I wasn't about to get shot, so I ended up sneaking down the canyon and hiking out as fast as I could. With the windy and rainy conditions, we decided to still hunt that morning. Without seeing any deer, we decided to head back to the truck following a fence line. We ended up coming across a marshy area where we saw a shooter buck. That's where I was going to make my evening sit. Alright everyone, I'm in this marsh area for my last evening East River, I mean. We saw a bunch of rubs in here, walking back in, and this morning when we scouted it out, we saw a really nice deer that I'll gladly shoot, so seems like a perfect spot, just as long as they don't walk too far away from me. I had to set up on the opposite end of where the scrapes and rubs were, just because where my wind's blowing. So they should be bedded on the left hand or the right hand side and meet in the middle right where I'm set up. So it should be as perfect as it can be for this spot anyways. Well, that didn't end how I wanted it to. I only ended up seeing one doe way off in the thicket. Too far away to get video of it. It was running the whole time, so wasn't able to get much of it anyways. EJ was set up about 300 yards down from me, and he saw a pretty nice buck, but he just couldn't get on him either, so it was just kind of a unlucky trip, but hopefully we'll be able to come back out here during November sometime when it's the rut and it'll be easier to get one shot. Although these hunts were rough, I kept on walking, kept on scouting, and kept on still hunting. Right before we had to end our trip, I ended up finding the best spot on the property. Although I had to head home before I could hunt it, this little wind gave me hope. By day 6, I was hunting the stand that EJ had previously hung for me. That morning was electric. I saw 6 different bucks. I've never seen that many bucks in one hunt before. This was the confidence boost I needed. Then that evening, I saw a giant. I'm convinced it was him, but I'm still unsure. Well, I'm all set up for today's evening sit of day 6 or 7. I'm not sure which day it is. It's one of those two. Hopefully we'll be able to have some more action this evening and one of the bigger deer show up. We had those 6 bucks come in this morning, it's just none of them were big enough to shoot, so hopefully one of the bigger ones will come through tonight and I'll be able to make a good shot on him. I was looking through old trail camera photos from this spot, and it looks like October 16th that drop tine deer showed up and walked through, made a scrape down here, so it's October the 13th, so it's around the same time frame he showed up last year. Hopefully he'll show up again tonight. Well, I totally blew that hunt. I tried to get out of the stand a little early because I had somewhere to be tonight, and there's a really big deer 10 yards behind the tree. I just couldn't see him when I checked before I climbed out of the tree, so I spooked him along with like 25 other deer climbing out of the tree. So hopefully I didn't ruin that spot. I'm gonna give it about 4 days rest and I'll be back in there Saturday morning. As I climbed out of the stand, I spooked him, without realizing that he was right behind me. I wanted to make sure that he felt safe just in case it was actually Thor that I spooked. I started doing my homework, researching and asking buddies how to calm the deer back down. That's when I found out about branch butter by Black Widow Deer Lures. And little did I know, that little thing would be exactly what I needed to bring Thor right to me. Alrighty everyone, I just got done putting rub in and a scrape in using the butter branch or branch butter from Black Widow. Had some buddies use it and I had some success with it, so I put it in that spot where my tree stand is. I spooked some deer yesterday getting out of the tree, hoping that it'll calm them back down and they'll come back in Saturday morning when I hunt it next. So it should be a perfect setup. I didn't take any pictures of it, but next time I hunt I'll make sure to show you guys what the setup looks like. Should be perfect. Alright everyone, this is the scrape I got going with the branch butter last time, and right over there is the rub I got going. Looks like we've been using it at least a little bit lately. We had a bunch of rain come in the past couple of days, so I'm just freshening the scrape up before I hunt tomorrow. Just getting some fresh scent on here. I got in here quickly and quietly. I didn't spook any deer, so that was the main goal. The second goal was to make sure and get those scrapes freshened up so these bucks come on in and hit it tomorrow. I'm hoping it'll work. I've never used this stuff before, so we'll see what happens. Guys, I just shot Thor. I'm almost certain it's Thor. It just got daylight and that deer popped right over the hill. I grabbed my crossbow. And he saw me and he was just standing there for like 2 minutes. Oh my gosh, I'm shaking so bad. I really hope I made a good shot. I didn't get to range him because it felt like he was about to run, so I put my 30 a little bit high. I really hope I didn't hit him high. It sounded like a lung pop. I really hope it was. Oh, I've been hunting that deer for 6 years. Oh, please. Oh, I really hope I made a good shot. Yes. Oh, I'm trying not to get too excited. I'm also trying not to fall off the tree. I'm gonna give him some time. I really hope I made a good shot. So I didn't see any blood at first shot where I shot him. I was walking toward DJ's stand, didn't see any blood. And I see a big old deer laying here, so we're gonna go check him out. Try not to trip on this one. Nice one. Oh, he's Yes! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, perfect! That's right where I was aiming. I should have just aimed right on him. Oh my gosh. Thanks, EJ. This season tested everything I had, physically, mentally, and emotionally. But hunting with one arm taught me something deeper. It's not about the perfect shot or the perfect video. It's about perseverance and never giving up no matter the situation or what's thrown your way.
One arm, one shot, one kill.
Thanks for watching Brant Brother Outdoors. If you liked what you saw in this video, make sure to stay tuned and watch what's coming next.